pozwolę sobie przedstawić kolejnego prelegenta, tak jak na ringu. Andrew Pillera, Fremantle Media.
Thank you. We've never quite had an introduction like that before. I apologize, my Polish is not very good, but my English is. But I think I have a translator somewhere. Okay, perfect. Sorry, you're going to translate along with me? Okay. So I will speak slowly. I will try. I've been asked to talk to you a little bit about what Fremantle are doing in the online world, and and try and showcase some of the dramas and some of the factual entertainment shows that we're doing in the online space, and really to kind of highlight how we're approaching the space and how it's different to the TV world. I've got three examples, three different types of shows. I've got a drama that I want to show you, a factual entertainment series, and a cooking series. But before I do that, just to give you some context or reference as to Fremantle, I don't know how many people know who Fremantle is. Let's see. We're a large TV production company. We have 25 offices. In fact, we actually have a Polish office. You might not know Fremantle's name, but hopefully you know some of our shows. Got Talent, I think it's Nam Talent here, X Factor, Idols, Grand Designs, How Clean Is Your House, Neighbors. These are some of our dramas. In this country, we have Nam Spunya, is that right? I hope I pronounced that right. One of the biggest dramas here is one of ours. Ali G, The Price is Right, Family Fortunes or Family Feud, etc. So I work in FMX, which is one of Fremantle, or which is Fremantle's digital division. We do two things. We create new shows, new ideas that sit online. They can go to TV, but they start first in online world. And then the second thing is that we're a branded content division. And I say that because the way we get our content financed or funded, the way we pay for it is through working with brands. Does that make sense? Okay. So these are some of the shows that we've done in the last year or so. These are some of the brands that we work with to get those shows made. So, three different shows that I want to talk to you about today, and three different ways to approach the online world. And this is how we at Fremantle are doing it. The first one I call Blue Sky Development. That's where we internally develop a new idea, and then we pilot that idea, and then we have to go and find an audience. Maybe we work with MySpace or Facebook or YouTube or a TV channel. The second way is that brands send us briefs, and then we create an experience online for a brand. And then the third way is that we find talent, usually on-screen talent, and we work with them to create and co-develop new ideas and new IP. Okay, so the first example I want to show you is a teen drama called Freak, which launched on MySpace last year. This is an example where we created a show, we created an idea internally, we piloted a show, and then we went to MySpace and partnered with MySpace to get the show financed and made. So this show, this teen drama, actually happened on the world of MySpace. So I have a video here, which I hope you can understand, that just demonstrates how the drama played out on a social network like MySpace. But it could have just as easily been Facebook or even YouTube. So it's a good example of how to tell a story on a social networking site.
Here's my friend Lucy. Introduce yourself, Lucy.
I'm Lucy.
Meet Lucy Jackson, your everyday MySpace user. Like most teenagers, Lucy uses MySpace to share photos and videos, get fashion and relationship advice, discover new music, and make new friends. However, Lucy isn't a real person. She's the main character in Freak, an online teen drama produced by Fremantle Media in partnership with MySpace UK.
My freak. My clothes. Hand them over.
The series is comprised of 16 episodes, features live events for the audience to attend, and every song on the soundtrack is submitted by up-and-coming bands on MySpace. The story follows Lucy, a girl gamer with a problem. After relocating to live with her new stepfamily, Lucy struggles to fit in and is constantly mistaken for a boy.
So he's ready for some hungover violence.
New player has entered.
What's going on? Whoa, Nelly, calm down. It's a bit quick.
So who's the new guy then? Show us your face.
Well, whoever it is, he's cute.
Get out! You're bored.
That's my stepsister.
Your stepsister's a boy.
Don't look like a girl.
You don't play like a girl.
It isn't a girl, it's a freak.
Lucy is humiliated and decides to lose the tomboy look to become the perfect girl. This is her story, a journey from freak to chic, with a little help from her friends online. Freak has two main objectives. The first is to create an online drama that matches the storytelling and production values of our television dramas. But this isn't TV online. Our second objective is to push the boundaries of storytelling by leveraging the different tools a social network could offer to create a richer, deeper narrative. There are three ways for the audience to interact with Freak. We call these befriend, explore, or participate. The first way to interact is to befriend Lucy and offer her advice. An example of this is to help her decide what clothes she should wear for a certain look.
I don't really understand what's the difference between emo and goth. I don't understand if I'm meant to dress all in black or how I'm meant to do my hair. Help me, emo fans, you know me. You're my only hope.
The audience posts their suggestions and can see the results of their advice in the next episode.
Lucy, you know the emo look suits you. You might get used to it.
Whenever Lucy has a difficult decision to make, the audience is there to help.
Well, Lucy's been dating Dennis and Steve behind each other's back, and now they're going to duel.
Who's it going to be then, Lucy?
When two best friends both fall for Lucy, users change their profile pictures to show whether they're backing indie kid Steve or lovable geek Dennis. The audience were then able to see how they influenced Lucy's decision in the final episode. The second way to interact is to explore. The series is told through 7 to 9 minute episodes. However, the story never stops there. After each episode, a call to action invites users to explore additional content on a character's profile. This gave fans a chance to follow the story from different characters' point of view in between episodes. This content ranges from Ant talking about his dad just before he visits him in prison,
trying to get the courage to go in as well if you don't notice.
Heather exploring her sexuality through a hidden online identity,
Jessica?
Sorry, no, you've got the wrong person.
Jessica Rose. I've seen your photo, it's definitely you.
to Dennis asking users to help set up a flash mob date for Lucy. By exploring the narrative in greater depth, our audience is able to see each side of every story in a way that simply isn't possible on a television screen. The third and final way to interact is for MySpace users to participate in the production process behind the series. Key scenes in the story are filmed at special live events just hours before they go live online. This allows fans to come on location, meet the cast, and become extras either in the background
The good news is there is a lot of talent in this crowd.
or interacting with the characters on screen.
Excuse me, where are you going today?
Brighton?
Great, us too.
Users could also meet specific members of the crew to develop their talent, such as learning to become a stylist. By filming at these special events, the audience is able to get even closer to the series.
It's beautiful.
Finally, and uniquely, every song on the soundtrack is an unsigned MySpace artist. With an astounding 9,000 song entries in just 10 weeks, Freak promoted up-and-coming bands to a wider audience through the main episodes, the music playlist, and the official blog.
Thanks for doing DemFest. I kind of think the others missed out. Maybe Steve could headline next year?
Finally, our biggest achievement with Freak has been the loyalty we've developed with our audience. This is so true that by the end of the series, when Lucy once again feels isolated, the audience reached out to prove she wasn't alone. There's a little freak in all of us.
Well, I hope you got most of that. This is an example or is an illustration of our creative model. And now this applies to every bit of online content we create. Specifically, this looks at Freak, but this is whenever we do an online project, all these 4 layers must exist. And I'll walk you through each one as it works for Freak. The first layer is what I would call TV on the web. It's not the most exciting. It is what you normally see on TV. It's episodic, it's HD shot, it's beautiful. In the case of Freak, it was 16 10-minute episodes, but it could have been 16 30 minutes, it could have been 35 minutes. It's linear episodic content, and it's just really a budget question as to how much of it you have. So that's always the layer, and that's one of our big learnings, that no matter what, you always need linear episodic story. The second layer is what I call non-linear profile content. It's your B-roll content. It's your lower grade content. So it's flip cams, mobile cam content, webcam content, and it's designed to do a slightly different thing. One example in Freak is one of the characters is into fashion. And she has a weekly fashion blog where she puts up a weekly video of a handbag or of a dress that she likes. Well, that doesn't push the story of Freak forward. But for the audience that's watching, that are into fashion, they really engage. And we were getting 30, 40,000 people watching her blog. So it's a tool to learn more, or it's a tool that we can use to give the audience a deeper window into a character's background. The third layer is what I would call interactivity, and this has 2 parts. So the first part is before the show goes live, we do a lot of calls to action. Do you make music? Do you want your music on the soundtrack? Do you want to be an extra? Do you want to be in the writing room? So we're trying to get the audience involved in the actual creative process. And then once the show is live and the series is on air, the audience has the ability to interact with the characters and influence their decisions. So it's not a choose your own adventure. The audience does not decide, does girl end up with boy? That's still our jobs. But the day-to-day decisions of our characters, the music they listen to, the clothes they watch, those things the audience, we feel, have a role to play. And then lastly, and probably the most important bit, is what I would call activation. So activation is the ability to take the audience that's watching your show and move them or get them to do something for you. So that could be downloading some Red Bull party packs. It could be about moving your audience from your Freak microsite to a sponsor's microsite. But it's that ability to mobilize them and move them. And so whenever we do any type of series, whether it's factual or a cooking series, hopefully you'll see these 4 layers. The other reason this is quite useful is when I work with sponsors, it becomes a lot easier to communicate where they fit in and how they fit in this process. Okay, so the next slide I'm going to show you is a short video, and we worked for this particular series. We worked with Tampax or P&G, and I'm going to show you a quick video of what the interaction of Tampax was to the series and how we integrated Tampax into the actual show itself.
By engaging the audience in these 3 ways, we developed a truly loyal fan base, ready to follow our characters into branded interactions, such as the Tampax Pearl My Weekend, My Way campaign. From a competition on the Freak community microsite, to an integration within the episodes themselves. The My Weekend, My Way music concert with the girl band The Saturdays was seamlessly woven into the storyline in real time. We then mobilised the Freak audience to go to the Tampax Pearl branded microsite by rewarding them with bespoke content related to the episode and the concert. This integration placed the brand and the branded message at the heart of the story in a way that was truly relevant to the audience. The My Weekend, My Way campaign and its integration within the world of Freak generated outstanding results. Ad awareness increased by 36%, brand consideration increased 7%, brand preference by 10%, and message association increased by 25%. These results demonstrate that combining Fremantle Media's world-class storytelling abilities with smart and relevant brand integration really drives great campaign effectiveness.
So I don't know if you totally got that, but what we did is we took Tampax, had a marketing campaign, and for that campaign, they had worked with a big kind of girl band called the Saturdays. I don't know if you've ever heard of them here, but they're a pretty big UK and US girl band. And we actually took that marketing initiative and put it into the show and used the Saturdays in that show. And then we were able to take our audience and we moved them to a Tampax microsite. So that's one example of how you can work with a brand. So that's a drama. The next and here's a timeline in terms of how the actual process worked. We developed the concept internally, we produced the pilot, we then partnered with the social network, in this case MySpace, to provide the media solution, and then collectively MySpace and Fremantle went out there and sold sponsorship packages to Red Bull, to P&G, and to PlayStation. So that's one model. So the second model is when we get a brief from a brand. And we have to build up a unique experience for that brand. In this particular case, this is a US brand called Buick or General Motors. It's a car brand, a pretty big US car brand. And they came to us with a problem. Buick wanted to reinvent itself and become more relevant in the eyes of their consumers. And so the content solution was about rediscovering cities in the US, and it could just as easily have been cities in Poland that wanted to, like Buick, wanted to reinvent themselves. And how did we do that? We basically took celebrities or participants from different cities, and through their eyes, they took the audience on a journey on their secret spots within a city. It's a very, very simple idea. It's nothing revolutionary about it, but this is an example of how we work with a brand. So here's just a short video of one of the LA episodes.
When I first moved here, I felt like LA's soul was kind of like an amoeba. You never could really grab onto it.
You can search out whatever kind of life you want and find it here. It's here, you just gotta find it.
I love the diversity, the cultural diversity, and the little nooks and crannies you can go to, the different restaurants and stuff. Anything you can think of, you can find in LA.
The fun is in the exploration, you know, get out there and see what's there. Because there are lots of little hidden gems, if you will.
I'm not sure that I even want to give up secrets, but how about the Cozy Inn?
The Cozy Inn, what's that?
Work with me.
I don't know where that is.
Cozy Inn is in Culver City, and it's a fantastic old school bar. It has a shuffleboard table, great jukebox. It's a fantastic hidden gem on the west side.
Inn?
The Cozy Inn.
I love the outdoors, and I go on the valley side of Griffith Park, and you can hike up where the old original zoo was built. And you can hike back up in there, and there's old steel structures, you know, kind of the ruins of the original zoo.
There's also 3 clubs. It's pretty hidden. It's right over off of Santa Monica and Vine. That little back room there, I've seen and discovered a lot of great bands before they really blew up. And
So I think you hopefully get the idea. It's just a very, very simple factual entertainment series. So this is an important slide I want to walk you through, because this is how we got that deal done. So stage 1, we received a brief from Buick and we partnered with MSN. 2, we created, came up with a creative solution for it. And stage 3, this is the business deal. And don't worry about the actual numbers, but what is important here is to understand a couple things. One, brands want 2 things. They want a creative solution, but they also want reach and scale. So, obviously Fremantle can do the creative solution, but we needed to work with MSN or Microsoft in order to deliver the reach and scale. And the way the deal got done, it was a $2 million deal. $1 million went into production, $1 million went into a media spend. But what's important here is that MSN was able to deliver $2 million worth of media. So in effect, they what we would call baked in the cost of the production into the media buy. So they de-risked it. Hopefully that makes sense. And perhaps most of your platforms or your portals here and across Europe work the same way, that they will be able to kind of put the cost of production inside a media spend. So I hope that makes sense. So that's the second way that we work. We work from a brief. The third way is that we find talent, people that we find interesting, and we build and develop IP. In this particular case, we found Ben and Barry. So this is a cooking series that targets 15 to 25-year-olds. So a demographic or an audience that really hasn't been catered to or serviced in the food space. So we thought it'd be a really interesting exercise or experiment to figure out how do you take a cooking series to a social media space. So here's a video of what that experience looks like.
This is Ben. And this is Barry.
That is special.
Together with their friends, they are the faces of Sorted, the interactive cooking community with a mission: to get their generation in the kitchen.
Sorted is all about quick, simple, tasty grub to cook with your mates.
With video recipes, comedy clips, and personal interaction with their audience across YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and a bespoke site, Sorted offers something completely different. Cooking exactly how the audience wants it, brought to them on the platforms where they already spend their time. At the outset, Sorted had three main objectives. First, to inspire the 18 to 30 generation, neglected by traditional cooking shows, to get in the kitchen. Second, to be the first real social media cooking brand, bringing premium cookery content to their audience's favourite platforms. Third, to create an inclusive community where anyone can get sorted. Video recipes released each week offer a sorted solution to everyday food dilemmas, tailored to the lifestyles and needs of the audience.
We all love seafood, but why does it have to be so expensive?
And so complicated. Because it really shouldn't have to be. We're going to do a squid casserole with brandy and cream, and it starts with onion.
And the novice Sorted crew ask Ben the questions the audience want to hear the answers to.
So is this a quick dish?
It is ideal because you can do it sort of ahead of time, like the sweet chilli, and get all the difficult bits out of the way.
But there's more to Sorted than just recipes.
Because cooking isn't just about food, it's about having fun.
Sorted reflects the food pop culture that inspires them and their audience. Through cookery stunts.
It's a great British summer day, and we're going to make a wheelbarrow barbecue.
And playful tributes to their favourite celebrity chefs.
It's not Celebrity MasterChef. It's day 2, and Barry is starting to feel the heat during a busy lunch service at the Red Lion pub.
Central to everything Sorted offer is exceptional production values. As a social media cooking brand, Sorted bring their fresh approach to the cookery format online, in a quality you might only expect on TV. And by making the most of digital functionalities, Sorted offer the kind of immersive entertainment experience only possible online. With a staggering 10,000 subscribers in just the first 5 months, Sorted is a buzzing cooking community, where inclusivity is taken to a new level. First, Sorted want to hear from their audience.
If you've got any good food-related jokes, why don't you post them down below? And if they're good enough, we'll include them in our next video.
But it's a two-way conversation, whether that's giving bespoke cookery advice, celebrating your cooking success, answering your questions.
How can you try and be professional with monkeys jumping around in the background? It's quite obvious you're taking this seriously, but are the rest? Well, obviously I do take this serious. Food can be serious, but without the rest of the crew, where would the fun be?
Or even creating a recipe based on your request.
We've had many comments from people on our YouTube channel, and one specific one was Brown Bridges asking if we've ever thought about doing a healthy pot noodle.
Well, no, and we've also had a request from Alka Sky W who wants to know if we can make something Thai.
So we thought we'd put both together and make a Thai pot noodle.
And if you want to get to know the crew, profile videos and backstage updates are there to fill you in. But it doesn't stop there. Sorted are a real crew that you can be part of. The third way Sorted set a standard for inclusivity is by inviting their YouTube and Facebook friends to have their food dilemma sorted in person, either in the Sorted kitchen.
So I'm here with you two because I want to learn how to cook for other people. It's something I don't really do much, and I was hoping you could change my mind. Absolutely, we're going to do a dish that's really simple. You can do it for your friends.
Or the crew might even come to you.
So start off with is an onion. You've got to get the fondant into the oven. Crucial, 14 minutes exactly.
In this way, Sorted bring top quality recipes, personal advice, and the chance to be part of the crew, all heavily seasoned with fun.
If you are short for time but want great food with a few sneaky shortcuts, then this is chicken skewers with peanut satay sauce. Sorted. 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 Sorted.
That's good, simple, tasty cooking for a 21st century generation. Sorted.
Okay, so it's been live now. Actually, it's about 8 months. We now have about 80,000 subscribers. We put on a new episode every week. We've had about 5 million views over that period, and we have a load of people on Facebook and Twitter followers as well. And I think the important thing here is that we haven't spent any money on buying media on YouTube. This is purely kind of word of mouth. And the other way we've been able to achieve it is that we work with other online stars, other online celebrities, and we put them into the content. And then we're able to piggyback off each other's community. So there's a couple stars in that video that you would probably have no idea, but there's one guy called Charlie So Cool Like, and he's massive. He every time he puts a video up there, he gets 5 million views. So by bringing him into the content, we're able to piggyback and leverage each other's community. And one of the things I would say with you guys is that when you're looking to do any online content, try and work with some of the other online celebs in Poland, or online stars, and integrate them into your show. They don't have to have a lead role, but use it in a way to piggyback off each other's community to build up your audience. The other exciting news for us is that now that this is done reasonably well in the online space, we're now talking to broadcasters about this show, taking this show to TV, Food Network and a few other broadcasters in the UK. So this is an example where you can build up an audience, you fund it yourself, but you build up an audience, build up an audience to a point where then you can take it to television and you have a proven model. We also have a couple cookbooks coming out in the spring, which shows that there's actually commercial value too. Now we're working with a very big publisher on that. So that's really it for me. Just 3 different examples and 3 different ways that we're approaching the online space. So really, over to you if you guys have any questions. I hope I spoke slowly enough.
Tak?
Sure.
What is the balance between budget and the audience? I mean, the sponsor should be satisfied by the numbers of the viewers because they invest some money in the budget. So 80,000 people is enough for them?
Is 80,000 people? I think that's a loaded question. It's the quality of that eyeball. So it depends on what demo you're going for. But is 80,000 enough? I think 80,000 people sorted was enough for us to have a conversation with a broadcaster. I don't think it's a sustainable business model, online at that level. But you have 80,000 people, 18 to 25, that hopefully you can then take from your online portal to the TV portal. I don't know what the exact number is. There isn't an exact science when X amount of eyeballs equals success, and every brand that you work with has different objectives or different goals. But what I would say is that in every case that I've worked on, that there has to be some sort of media buy. So when you work with the brand, they're also in conjunction. Not only are they getting content, but they're also buying inventory on YouTube or buying inventory on MSN or MySpace. And so they're able to balance that budget or justify that spend via media spend. one more.
Mam następnego. Tak.
Do you want me to repeat the question?
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, because actually your target is mainly youth, so this is the most sensitive target group because they're very savvy of you know if you're truth or just.
So the question is, how old are the actual the production team? How old are they?
Yeah, who writes the scripts and actually. What are the ideas of which kind of person come up with them?
So I mean, we have, in our development team, we have a range. I think they probably go from 22 to 40. You know, we have young development executives, and we have more seasoned executives. So that's in terms of who's coming up with the ideas. In terms of the production crew, just because we're Fremantle Media and we have sort of we have to have some sort of level of quality. On the production staff, you're always going to find a very experienced, EP or executive producer and probably producer. But, we have younger staff as well. And on the scripted side, on the Freak, for instance, in the writing room and the creative producer was one of our television series producers. But in the writing room itself, we had four up-and-coming writers aged between 18 and 21. But it was overseen by a seasoned, very experienced head writer. So that's what I would say. It's a balance, right? If you're going to work with a Red Bull or you're going to work with a Coke, you have to have that experience. The other big difference between an online production crew and a television production crew is that we have a role of someone called a community manager, and I don't know if that makes sense, but the community manager works into the creative producer or whoever runs the writing room, and their sole job or that team's job is to be in the social network space, to go out there and meet friends, and also to be the eyes and the ears of our characters. So that the community management team are the ones that are responding to the audience in real time, and they tend to be really young because they have to be digitally savvy. That's it.
That's it.
Thank you very much for having me.